Welcome to the Eric Thompson Show. Passionate conservative fighting to preserve our constitutional rights.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
A Marine Corps veteran and family man whose life's creed is faith, family, and country. Join Eric today as he covers current events from a conservative worldview. Now, here's your host, Eric Thompson.
Hi, welcome to another Eric Thompson Show podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. It is Wednesday, March 30th, 2022. If you want to get a hold of me, you can head over to my website, eric-thompson-show.com, eric-thompson-show.com. Check out my articles. I'm a political writer. You can also find my articles over on Trending Politics and other places. Today's show is Who Are We? Who and what is the United States of America? And once we figure that out, what are we going to do about stopping the coup that's underway? Because as I see it, as sitting in California, we are not the United States of America. We are the divided states of America. Out here, for example, a 5-4 vote up in Sacramento. They're going to help people of African descent that are African Americans in the United States. If they can prove that their family had slaves in the lineage, then their great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren will get money. And somehow that will make it right. We have Disney executives that doing Zoom calls, telling the cancel culture, the woke culture of Disney, you know, our stakeholder employees have really made it clear to us that we really have not advanced LGBTQ A+, 1, 2, 3 in our company, and we are going to make some drastic changes. So we'll go over that. Because they're still mad in Florida that kindergarten to third grade teachers can't try to indoctrinate little children on being gay or trans or pan or bi or whatever it is. That they can't. These perverted teachers can't leave the kids alone till at least fourth grade because they're mad about it. So what are we going to do about the woke culture if we're going to be a constitutional republic where liberty still exists? CNN just admitted that, yeah, Hunter's laptop is really corrupt, and he's really corrupt, and the Bidens are really corrupt, and it's been 2 years, and we just finally figured out why. Why do we have a compromised, corrupt president of the United States in office with a corrupt son who's done things that would make most of us probably vomit? Why is he still walking the streets, and why is Joe Biden in the White House? Fauci and the WHO are still running around saying, hey, wait a minute, we still need controls and need to monitor you people. We don't need the world to go back to being autonomous and left alone. Why? I'll give you a clue. They're both attached to the Great Reset. Because this is what's happening. Who are we? Are we the nation's? Are we the world's police power? Are we the big guy on the block that's supposed to take care of all the bullies around the world? Is that who we are? Yes or no? If no, then why are we so concerned about the corrupt nation of Ukraine being attacked by their former nation Why is the United States of America spending billions of dollars, and how are we spending billions of dollars, and what is modern monetary theory? Those are the things I think we should be talking about, not why Will Smith smacked Chris Rock and why this and who this and this. We need to figure out if we're going to be a constitutional republic where everything is supposed to be at the state level, then we end all immigration, we close the Department of Education, we send everything back to the states, and we give the states the authority, the Congress gives the states authority to protect the border with government resources. If we're going to be a constitutional republic, then we deport the millions and millions and millions, probably 30 million people in our country illegally. And you'll see numbers here in a minute of how many people could possibly the number have ramped up to now. That's over 6 million every year plus. What do we do about that? Right now, I feel like Americans are like if you boxed, like I did boxing and martial arts, there's a certain point where you get punch drunk, where you get hit so much and you're exhausted, you really just can't defend yourself too much. I feel like that's what the average independent conservative feels like. Alejandro Mayorkas is a very dangerous man who's over the Department of Homeland Security, working with the globalists, forcing our borders to stay open, overriding all the policies. He's about to get rid of another one that Trump had put in to open the floodgates even more. And this is the reason. They believe that if there's 40 million illegal aliens in the country, that Americans won't do anything about it. Then through chain migration, higher birth rates, they'll eventually outpopulate the American citizens, and then they can flood into enough states that they can do a constitutional amendment. They can gut the Constitution. That's the major plan. So as we go through the podcast, just keep in mind, I don't want to just keep complaining. I want to find out, and I'm going to be asking more and more questions on here. I'm on social media. You can find me on Twitter, ET Talk Show. You can find me on my social media platforms, magabook.com, twillet.com. I'm going to have a newsletter comes out for eric-thompson-show.com. I just want to find out who's on board. Who actually wants to save the country, and who's willing to do what it takes. My first sponsor of the podcast is Pure Talk USA. This is a no-brainer, guys. No-brainer. Do me a favor. Write down getpuretalk.com. Getpuretalk.com. And why should you do that? Inflation is out of control. And then when we get to the modern monetary theory, you're going to know why. So inflation's at 40-year highs. Gasoline's expensive. Everything's expensive. Your budget's probably out of control. It's upside down. If you're with AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, or Sprint, you're paying way too much for your cell phone bill when you could join the mass exodus of Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile customers and switch over to Pure Talk USA. This is what's cool about it. A year and a half ago, I switched over. They mailed me my new SIM cards. I popped them in my existing phones, so I didn't have to get new phones. I didn't have to get new phone numbers. I turned the phones on. You would turn your phones on today, and guess what? You'd still be on the same 5G network you were on before you switched out the SIM card. You'd have the exact same towers, coverage, hotspot, everything, but for about half the cost. So why wouldn't you want your family to save about $800 or more and keep the same plan you have, the same features, the same everything? Of course you would, and that's why people are doing it. The reason why Verizon and them are so expensive is because they have to pay for all those buildings and locations and employees. You don't do that with Pure Talk USA. They're out of Atlanta, Georgia area. CEO is a U.S. veteran. I love them. I've been with them for about a year and a half. Top-rated wireless company. And the nice thing is my cell phone bill, which used to go up and down depending upon if I went over my data, it's the same every month because they don't charge you if you go over on your data one month. They don't charge you. So my bill's the same every month, $62.23 for 3 phones. There's different size packages, but that's all my family's needed. So do me a favor, join the rush. Join those who love America, those who want to save money and keep the same coverage and support a company that does not support causes that you object to. So go to getpuretalk.com, getpuretalk.com. Use my promo code at checkout, FLS, for liberty's sake. 3 letters, FLS at checkout. You get 50% off your first month. Getpuretalk.com, promo code FLS. All right, let's get rolling here. Walt Disney, did you guys hear about this? I'm sure you did, but what are we going to do about it? Disney executive producer says company welcoming of her secret gay agenda. A leaked video from Disney's Reimagine Tomorrow Summit reveals top-level employees openly discussing the company's push to include more LGBTQ plus content in its library. Pushing. What are you going to do about it? I'm not watching. We're going to get rid of Disney Plus. If we have it, I don't want to go back to a Disneyland or Disney World ever again. Quote, I love Disney content. I grew up watching all the classics. They have a huge informative part of my life. But at the same time, I worked at small studios most of my career, and I heard things like they won't let you show that in a Disney show, and I'm okay. And I'm like, okay. So I was a little sus when I started, but then my experience was bafflingly opposite to what I heard. In my little pocket of proud family TVA, the showrunners were super welcoming. Meredith Roberts and our leadership team over there has been welcoming to my not at all secret gay agenda. That's Latoya Revenol, top executive with Disney. In other words, I enjoyed the classics, but then when I got in the industry, I was told, well, it's a Disney show, so you can't do those gay things. So I was a little, miffed, a little frustrated when I started, but then I found out that actually the leadership over here is so welcoming to my not at all secret gay agenda. Why does it matter who people sleep with? Why does it matter what they identify as? Why is that so important that they can have access to children and act out a certain way? Why should that matter to corporations and to us? See, Governor DeSantis in Florida, he does it the right way. He says, you know what? Do what you're going to do, but Florida has nothing to do with it, Disney. I don't care if you guys care about our law where teachers cannot brainwash children kindergarten to 3rd grade about being in the LGBT community. I don't care. I don't care that you guys don't like the fact that we're not wearing masks. I don't care. I'm a state. We're autonomous. Florida's a state. DeSantis is the governor. And they're not, the leadership in Florida doesn't care about the gay agenda because they're representing the silent majority that's not promoting the woke culture. So Disney's executives, there's 3 of them on this Breitbart article. You can check it out. Go to Breitbart.com. It's written by Paul Boyce. There's also Disney's corporate president, Kay Burke. She says, as a mother of one transgender child and one pansexual child, many LGBTQIA characters in our stories, I think we should add those. As a matter of fact, I want a minimum of 50% of the new characters in Disney, the ones that we're going to see created, are going to have to either be a lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, queer, I don't know, and a racial minority. So we're going to have basically a bunch of quote-unquote people of color, LGBTQIA people as new Disney characters. At least 50%. So what do we do about it? We don't go to Disney. We don't support companies that have been overtaken by woke culture. That's up to us. Hunter Biden, everybody has known, is sexually deviant, a drug addict, wealthy because daddy was getting him in front of Chinese executives, the Ukraine oil company executives, Burisma, Moscow's mayor, and other nations. Joe was selling influence and Hunter was taking in the money, and Joe was getting 10%, according to the emails on Hunter's laptop, the big guy. So Joe Biden was making money as vice president. Hunter was sleeping with underage children, little girls, doing coke, doing crack, on and on. So right before the election in 2020, CNN and all of them like, oh, this is misinformation. This is Russian misinformation. This isn't true. It's Russian disinformation. It's all made up. There's nothing true. That was 532 days ago. Guess what? Oops, they said, quote, there are a lot of issues that the Justice Department's looking into now, including, of course, this laptop on the right wing has featured a lot of stories about Hunter Biden. We know the FBI has possession of it and that they believe it is his laptop. So now it's no longer Russian disinformation. Here's another quote. The contents, this is from CNN, the contents are his, he said, the CNN host said, noting that Hunter's very, very bad looking corruption into Ukraine, where Joe Biden was the vice president. John Harwood also revealed that Hunter Biden was trading on his father's name to make a lot of money. So you got CNN's Evan Perez. You got John Harwood. And they're basically saying, yeah, looks like Joe was selling access through Hunter. And Hunter's guilty. What do we do about it? You impeach Joe Biden. You impeach Kamala Harris. You fire Alejandro Mayorkas, DHS. Because if you get rid of Biden and Harris, then after November. See, if you do it. You know, that's kind of confusing, isn't it? Because if you get rid of him now, the speaker, that means Pelosi would be president. What a screwed up bench, huh? See, if the Republicans, if it happened in January, then February, you impeach the two. And the Republicans, if McCarthy's the Speaker of the House, then he becomes president. But to say all that, what do? Is we hold them accountable. Joe Biden needs to go, even if Harris takes over or whoever. Hunter Biden needs to go to prison. That's what needs to happen. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Why is CNN doing it now? Why is the New York Times doing it now? Why are they okay with getting Joe in trouble now? I believe because they're done with Joe Biden. I really do. Joe's done what he can do. He didn't get through the Build Back Better bill. He hasn't done some of the things, but he's signed a lot of executive orders. He's destroyed temporarily the energy industry. He's neutered it where it can't produce enough energy for the country's needs. So now Joe can go. They don't care. So maybe, well, you know what? The midterms are coming up. Okay, well, either we get rid of Joe before or we get rid of Joe after, because there's no way we're going to run Joe Biden in 24. No way. That's why it's coming out now. They're okay if Joe Biden was to get the boot before the midterms, because then they can say, well, we've gone ahead and put in the first woman of color as the president to show that our diversity is strong, and that we got rid of the corrupt Biden, so you can go ahead and keep us in power after all. But what the media wants to do is keep the stories going, because then they can keep selling clicks. I want results. I don't want clicks. If Walt Disney's executives want to say that the company is welcoming of her secret gay agenda, Miss LaToya Robino, and if Disney corporate president Carrie Burke wants to say that all of our characters should be LGBTQIA and racial minorities, at least half moving forward, guess what? You guys can have your overpriced, way too expensive, quote-unquote, theme park with all your woke people, and I will invest my money in other things. Two more things. Besides the fact that Fauci and the WHO are demanding that the global surveillance should take in place, even as coronavirus numbers are plunging, the WHO warns that the social surveillance must remain. We still got to monitor everybody. Please, we need the information on everybody. Fauci over the weekend said that Americans should be ready for the possibility of a more rigid type of restriction coming back. What do we do about it? We take back the house and we basically just say, you guys can all stick it. We're not shutting down ever again. That was the worst thing our country ever did. Should have never, ever, ever shut down. No 15 days of nothing. But that's in the past. We can't do it forward. Okay. The immigration and education systems are issues are the two biggest ones. There's an article here from Neil Munro from Breitbart. He said Border Chief Alejandro Mayorkas and his progressive deputies are warning Americans, which it's announced that they are going to lift Trump's Title 42 border barrier, which means that we should expect an additional huge inflow of, quote, economic migrants to pour in. New York Times said, quote, Homeland Security officials on Tuesday described contingency plans for managing as many as 18,000 additional encounters a day at the border, regardless of the cause. This inflow would add up to more than 500,000 people a month. The southern border is already out of control. The economic damage already caused by the flood of roughly 1 million legal immigrants and perhaps 400,000 new visa workers are flooding the same jobs, so the wages are not going up. The CDC governor barrier allows Mayorkas to regulate the inflow of cross-border migrants to a level that does not break into the evening news. Mayorkas' regulated level is about 150,000 illegals per month, including another 50,000 that they don't catch at all. So it's only 200,000. But now, if this Title 42 goes away, they say they can shoot all the way up at 18,000 per day, or 6,570,000 people a year. In 3 years, that's 20 million people. I think there's already 30 million illegal aliens and visa overstays in the country. What do we do about 40 to 50 million people? in the country illegally. What do? If you're saying if the majority of American citizens say, well, they're here, oh well, then it's over. If you're like me and you say, well, you came in illegally, I am insistent that the House, once the Republicans take it back, end immigration. If we don't end immigration, and if we don't close the Department of Education and get everything back local, if we don't stop the indoctrination through education and the flooding of the nation through immigration, then we're already divided now, but we will not be able to restore our nation. So the country's either going to step up and say, we don't care what you think about us in Ukraine. We don't care what you think about us in Germany. We don't care what you think about us in Moscow or in Canada or whatever. We are the citizens of the United States of America. We did not ask you 30, 40 million people to invade our country. We don't care if brain-dead presidents and globalists have allowed you in. You're leaving because there is no longer an immigration system in America except for deportation. If you end the visas, if you end chain migration, if you end asylum, then they leave. Because that means they would no longer get tax returns. They no longer would get stimulus checks or Social Security payments. That's the only option we have on the immigration side. When it comes to education, just like these nuts in Disney, guess what? It's all back local school boards. You determine curriculum and you can fire the teachers. You throttle down and you choke out the teacher unions of funding. And you get everything local. Then you get the parents to say, you know what? You're not putting any of those books in our schools. Matter of fact, you're all fired. The woke culture, the way you deal with it is you just defund them and you send them away. Hunter's laptop and Biden, what do? We support Biden getting impeached and putting Hunter in jail. We have to be aware that the Great Reset, the WHO, the World Health Organization, and Dr. Fauci are both part of the Great World Economic Forum, which started in 1971, the same year that President Nixon took the dollar off of the gold standard. So we need to tell the WHO and Fauci and the Great Reset, no, you don't need to surveil us. You used the COVID-19 to get you where you're at. You've been able to destroy lives to get some control, but no, you're not going to do it again. That's how we deal with that. But the reason why our government is $31 trillion in debt and just continues to print money, and I'll finish with this, is that modern monetary theory doesn't require them to balance the budget or to even run, it allows them to run to run deficits because they're printing their own money. So most of the debt is to ourselves. So how do we get out of this mess? How do we get it, continue, since Biden is compromised, to why he just cut another 350 tariffs to China. So the government's compromised. The president's big time compromised. How does our government increase tax revenues and get control of the people and get out from underneath $31 trillion in fake money? You go to a digital currency. But not just any digital currency. You go to a programmable currency. Why this is important is CNBC says that last year, 57% of the homes in the U.S. paid zero income tax. 57%. How can you make it if half the country, more than half the country, is not paying into the coffer? So what the plan is, it looks like it's this. They're going to, Joe Biden a couple weeks ago did an executive order and said that he wants the Fed, FBI, DOJ, wants them looking into these cryptocurrencies. But he also wants the Fed to look into creating a United States new digital currency, one that can be programmed. If we don't intervene, here's what I believe is going to happen. They'll eventually get the digital currency through. They're going to say, well, the dollars and coins and all these, they're not backed by gold, and they're no longer going to be backed by the Fed. So you need to trade them in, and you'll get digital credits for your digital wallet. Now, the Fed's going to control all this, so that way we can, make sure we collect the right amount of taxes from everybody, make sure there's no Russian money going through there, money laundering. So we're going to take care of it all. And then we're going to have it attached, because this is in the executive order. And in this new digital currency, it's going to ensure racial and environmental justice, equity for all. So what happens? Well, let's see. We want to get rid of gasoline-powered cars. We're going to program the currency to not work at gas stations. Oh, that's crazy. You're talking lunacy. That would never happen, really? Just take a look. Go online and look up Breitbart or Gateway Pundit or Fox, any of them. Just look up Joe Biden's executive order for digital dollar. Read it. It's like it was The Hill did it. And I think The Hill and Time. Read the articles, but when you get to the bottom, you're going to see that they actually are going, it's called an ESG score, environmental, social justice and governance. It'll be like China's social credit score. And basically the money can be programmed to allow you to buy or not to buy at certain businesses or certain products. Now, of course, the government's going to say they won't take advantage of it, they won't abuse it. But the reason why our federal government doesn't mind sending Ukraine $2, $3, $4 billion with having no plan to pay down the debt. Our interest is through the roof on the debt. Pretty soon we won't even be able to pay the interest on it, but it won't matter if they get their way. Because what they're going to do is they're going to switch over to the digital dollar and just say, well, China and you guys will give you some digital currencies in our conversion here, but we're not going to pay ourselves back. So this debt just goes poof, gone. And then inflation will be just unfathomable. But hey, what can you do when if people's dollars goes from, let's say you got $1,000 and then they go to the new currency, and then all of a sudden you got $500. Your dollar just your money your purchasing power just went down in half. Everything became real expensive. So that's where we're at today on March 30th. What are we going to do about woke culture? What are we going to do about the Hunter situation? What are we going to do about the 500,000 people about to pour in? What are we going to do about this digital currency? We're going to collectively say, if you come in the country, you're going to go out. Disney, you can go woke as you want, but we're not going to support your company anymore. Hunter, you need to go to jail. Biden, you need to get impeached. Fauci, WHO, you guys can go back to the Great Reset, stick it. That's how we do this. My second sponsor is MyPillow.com. MyPillow. If you don't sleep well, if you have a sore neck every morning, your shoulder goes numb, and your towels are looking ratty, I got a special website. You can go over to MyPillow, mypillow.vip, and it'll take you to my page on MyPillow, and you got up to 66% off, and there's even some closeout sales, 70%, 90%, huge savings. Check them out. Over 150 different items. Like I said, they got towel sets normally $109 for $39. Sheets $109 for $39. They got pillow was $69 for $19. So check them out. mypillow.vip. My promo code is FLS, just like over at Pure Talk. For liberty's sake, 3 letters, FLS. Use that when you check out. Save a ton. So thank you guys so much for listening in. If you want to get a hold of me, the website again is eric-thompson-show.com, eric-thompson-show.com. Sponsors, getpuretalk.com. Save up to $800 a year as a family doing promo code FLS. And mypillow.vip, promo code FLS. Thank you guys for listening. We know what the plan is. Let's go out and do it. Take care.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm going to pass the savings directly on to you. Go to MyPillow.com right now to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. For example, you can get my premium MyPillows, regularly $69.98, now just $29.98. The lowest price ever.
Well, not anymore. Now you can get your pillow for $19.98. Go to mypillow.vip. mypillow.vip. And use my magic promo code of FLS, mypillow.vip, promo code FLS. And don't forget about Pure Talk.
We all have smartphones. Isn't it time for a smart plan? Pure Talk USA offers Simply Smarter Wireless that covers 99% of Americans. Stop overpaying for wireless. Unlimited plans start as low as $20 per month and include the same great coverage. You never pay for any data overage fees, and Pure Talk USA never turns off your data. No contracts, no hidden fees, no surprises. If you're thinking our absurdly low cost means less coverage, think again. Pure Talk USA operates on the largest GSM network in the U.S. to ensure you're connected virtually anytime, anywhere. And our 4G LTE
Now
network
5G.
provides the fastest internet speeds like more expensive carriers. You can keep your same phone and your same phone number. Add multiple lines to save 20% off your total bill. Go to puretalkusa.com and do something smart today. Unlimited talk and text plans start at $20 per month. No contracts, no activation fees, no reasons not to try. Come to puretalkusa.com and see how much you can save. Enter this promo code to receive 50% off your first month.
Promo code FLS at getpuretalk.com. Promo code FLS.